Morning, everybody. I'm Pete Goddard. I'm the Spitfire Birmingham Partner Manager. And Pete's wheeled me out again to talk about the 2025 big switch off. It's very nice to see not only everyone here, but also lots of Birmingham partners represented as well. So thank you very much for coming. So I'm going to give you a quick update on the 2025 big switch off. What's that? I've heard about it. I think there's been some stuff in the press, billboards, some adverts or something like that. Well, nearly, yes. I mean, it was 2020, the last partner seminar 3 years ago, as Pete said, that I actually spoke about the 2025 big switch off. So the legacy PSTN network, public switched telephone network, has really served its purpose now. No longer supports the demands of today's technology, and as a result is being switched off. So what is our challenge? Well, there are 9.5 million WLR products that need to be migrated between now and the 31st of December 2025. So Spitfire have got 9,214 analog lines, 200 ISDN2 channels, and 49 ISDN30 channels. We also have 412 broadband circuits that are not on Spitfire bearer lines. So if we divide that by the 27 months, we've basically got 19 WLR products that we need to migrate every day, every working day between now and 2025. That's 19 products where the customer's got to be contacted, advised, discussed, quoted, requoted, ordered, 19 every working day for 27 months. So the Spitfire account managers know what the challenge is. Their job is to help you migrate those people. So, stop sell. On the 5th of September 2023, we had stop sell. What is stop sell? Well, it's basically no new provides can be done after that date. There are a few minor exceptions, for example, where there's no FTTC or FTTP available at that exchange. ADSL may be able to be provided, but talk to your account managers about that on a case-for-case basis. But in effect, no new WLR provides are now accepted. No upgrades or modifications to existing products. No like-for-like transfers. Oh, it's all right, we'll move products from that provider to Spitfire, it'll be fine. We can't do it. No like-for-like transfers. So what's happening about data connectivity? Well, if the exchange is an FTTP priority exchange, then you must migrate to FTTP. What we need to do is we need to talk to our customers now, remembering 19 every day, working day for the next 27 months. Talk to your clients, talk to your Spitfire account manager. Not all is lost. We can do this. We have to do it. 31st of December 2025, everything shuts down. So what can Spitfire offer? So we have the migration of the WLR products to the all IP solutions. Now, there are three areas that we have to look at when referring to WLR products. Connectivity over analog lines, analog digital telephony, in other words, analog lines and ISDN, and then other non-voice usage. So if we look at analog and digital moving to all IP, VDSL, FTTC, and ADSL and SDSL could, of course, move to FTTP. If it's a priority exchange, FTT priority exchange, it has to be FTTP. Or it can go to FTTC, FTTC Ethernet, ADSL, SDSL, such as SOTAP or MPF, and mobile data. FTTC over analog lines, if you remember, what happened was that you had that OpenReach TDM network that went, in effect, from your master socket through the cabinet to the exchange and then out to the voice network. Well, it's different now because you have an FTTC Sajir product, which basically is fiber all the way through. Yes, you have a little bit of copper at the start, but the rest of it is fiber. So, not all is lost. We have the products. Secondly, what we're going to look at is analog and digital telephone lines. So ISDN 30, ISDN 2, calling service, select services, and they can be migrated to Spitfire SIP trunks, cloud telephony, or indeed Spitfire's IP voice. And that brings me nicely on to talk about IP voice. IP voice is a telephony service which is owned by Spitfire, is hosted on Spitfire's core network, and is a direct replacement for the single analog voice line. It uses Spitfire's resilient SIP trunks that are connected to the PSTN network, and you can use analog handsets on IP voice. So if we just talk a little bit about that. So the customer can use their own analog line, or indeed Spitfire can provide their own analog handset. Indeed, Spitfire can provide an analog handset as well, and that would be connected to a Spitfire router, and that router could be provided with a Yealink handset, or, as I said, the analog handset, but both these deployments are completely secure. So if we look at the diagram of what I'm talking about, on the left-hand side, you could have the Yealink handset on the top, or the customer analog handset at the bottom, connected to a Spitfire router, going over a Spitfire circuit, goes into the IP voice, Spitfire's IP voice with resilient SIP trunks, and then out over the public network. So the circuits, when we look at the circuits, what we really want to do is we want to have the best possible circuit that provides the best voice quality for the customer. So FTTC, FTT broadband with RT Quas on it, which will support both analog and Yealink handsets because it's using a Spitfire router, is the gold standard. That's what we want. However, there are other circuits and other configurations that can be used, but if you use a Spitfire router, then in effect, the customer can use their analog handset. So real-time Quas, which I adhered to earlier, that's going to be discussed in much greater detail by Gary shortly, so I don't want to steal his thunder. So what we need to look at is the handset compatibility. So the customer will either require Yealink T42U handset, or they can have their own analog handset, or Spitfire provided analog handset, which can be then connected to a Spitfire Technicolor router. So the current supported routers that have the ability for an analog handset to be provisioned on it are listed there. So the reason why we want to use a Spitfire router is because the analog handset actually goes into those two little green sockets there, the terminal adapter sockets, whereas the Yealink handsets would go into the normal port. How much is this going to cost? Not a lot. £5, which will include 1,000 minutes, local, national, and mobile. There's no setup fee. There's no porting fee to port the number. There's no charge for the number. We can, as I say, either port the number or indeed provide them with a new number, all included in the £5. So if we talk about WLR analog line, or lines, we have a single line. You might have it in your house, for example. You can connect then to IP voice, or you can put call divert on it. Those are the two options. If you have multi-lines or multiple lines, in other words, you might have an old, for example, Panasonic telephone system that's got 3 lines connected into it, then you would want to migrate that to FireSwitch. And FireSwitch will be discussed in much greater detail later on this morning. So that's analog, digital connectivity. The third part was the non-voice usage lines. Now these might be, for example, alarm lines, lift lines, EPOS or PDQ, or indeed ISDN broadcast. What do we do with those? Well, there are still a number of options. Mobile data is an example of a Spitfire service. IoT is going to be talked about later on, but some of those products may well be destined for that route. There may be redesigned solutions like Redcare's Essential IP solution. And these could be provided over Ethernet, Wi-Fi, SIMs, replacing hardware, replacing PDQ machines like Apple Pay or other payment services. The payment service provider may well want to put that over mobile data. Again, something that we can help with. Lift lines, it could go to IP voice. It may have a SIM in it. These are conversations that you've got to have with your customers with the advice of the Spitfire account manager. So carry out a full review of what the actual customer requirements are. Do they really need a fax machine now? So the big switch off. You know, we've passed the stop sell date. We're now all IP. We have to go all IP. Talk to your account managers. We're faced with this huge challenge, but at the same time, it's a fantastic opportunity. There are 9.5 million opportunities out there between now and 2025. It's a threat. It's an opportunity. And we need to actually grasp that now, and your account managers are here to support you to do that. So thank you very much. If you've got any questions, obviously I'm around afterwards, or as Pete said, you can send questions too. And I'd now like to hand you over to Gary.